protect what you create. And now, here's your host, Sarah Jane Sugitan.
Welcome everyone on the Piracy Watch, and today we are celebrating the 11th World Intellectual Property Day. Of course, we'd like to thank the World Intellectual Property Office, the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines, and today we have the Executive Director of the Optical Media Board, Attorney Cyrus Paul S. Valenzuela, to talk to us about, piracy. Good morning, Attorney Cyrus.
Good morning, Sarah.
Yeah, so we have, of course, today we're celebrating the 11th World Intellectual Property Day, and our theme is designing the future. For you, Attorney Cyrus, do you think the future will be piracy-free in terms of intellectual property infringement? What do you think?
In an ideal world, we would like to think that there can be a future where we can say that the world is piracy-free. But right now, the reality is even first world countries and well-developed countries, they have although very low piracy rate, there is still piracy.
It still exists. Even
Piracy had existed since the beginning of time. when cavemen decided they wanted to do create invent certain weapons or certain items to use in their hunting, other peoples followed suit. Although during those times there's no system for patents, but
there's no replicating machines.
Yeah, but ever
one.
since people had been copying what other people had been making, so
it's been an existence. And we're talking here piracy, meaning intellectual property theft, not the piracy over the ships.
yes.
Okay, so for you, Attorney Cyrus, I'd also like to ask, do you think piracy is an unsolvable crime, like drugs and prostitution? Can we liken piracy to those crimes?
I don't think so. It's very easy to. We can compare it to prostitution. I think because in terms of intellectual property theft, there can be a lot of ways in which we can prevent it. In a way that, for example, certain countries like Japan, they used to be on top of the list in terms of countries with a very high piracy rate. But yes, before. This was during the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was, since they were losing face, and the Japanese are very particular about losing face.
Mm-hmm.
They were losing face dun sa international community because of the high piracy rate. So they made it their national policy to stop piracy.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're one of the countries with the lowest piracy rate. So certain measures can be done to prevent the proliferation of piracy.
I hope the Philippines will not have to lose face, although we seem to be fast losing face with meeting while becoming one of the most notorious pirated markets in the list and all that reputation.
I would like to, in a way, disagree, because I think for the past 5 or 6 years we managed to keep our standing as in the 301 list of USPTO 301 list of countries with the high piracy rates. Right now, for the past 5 years, we have been consistently in the regular watch list. Although our target really is to be removed entirely from the watch list. You have to, in terms of looking back a few years ago, we were at the priority watch list. So in terms of improvement, I would like to think that we are doing something about it.
We have greatly improved.
Yes,
since,
we have.
Before we were Japan. We were in the priority watch list.
Yes.
But now a lot of government agencies have been doing something about this, not only for our worldwide reputation, but also for the economy.
Yes,
I'd like to
especially
understand.
the economy.
Especially the economy. Attorney Cyrus, you are with the Optical Media Board, or the OMB. It is under the Office of the
President, yes.
And of course, very active po kayo sa mga raids, and everyone knows the past few. How are you in relation to Chairman Ricketts po? How is the structure within the OMB?
Well, Chairman Ricketts is the head of the agency, and as his executive director, assist him in the day-to-day operations of the office. So basically, the executive director serves as the secretariat of the OMB. So any
of the OMB.
yes,
And
so-
also you are part of the National Committee on Intellectual Property Rights, or the NCIPR.
the NCIPR, yes. The OMB is part of the NCIPR. The NCIPR is a group of government agencies that had been tasked to make sure that the piracy rate would be kept at a minimum level and at the same time mapababa pa.
So concerted effort po yan.
Concerted effort.
NCIPR is,
And it is headed by the Intellectual Property Philippines.
So who else are members of the NCIPR po?
Well, you have the NBI, you have the PNP, you have the DOJ, you have the DFA.
The DFA is part
DFA
of
is
the-
there because remember there is yung mga pirated medicines. So we need to involve yung DFA, no, not DFA, sorry. BFAD, sorry.
Food and drugs.
Yes,
Food
okay,
and
sorry.
drugs po.
We have the NTC for cable theft, and we also have the DILG. What else? The National Book Development Board, NBDB. And
That's it.
yes,
That's it
as well
po.
as
So
the
all of-
customs.
customs.
Yeah, BOC. Yes.
So
is
all
also
of
there.
those member agencies are government agencies.
Yes, government
under the
agencies.
NCIPR. Okay, so last week po may question in our show whether, for example, in the internet, is it democratizing information such that anything you put up on the net becomes free for anyone to copy, or can we still legislate or have policies towards punishing people who do intellectual property theft over the internet? So what do you think? Is internet democratizing in that sense, or
In a way, because right now it's so easy to get like for example movies that hasn't been released yet. You can easily get it through the internet. There would be instances sometimes na yung mga rough edit pa ng mga movies, meaning it hasn't been released yet, and then it would find its way in the internet. Right now, sad to say, we do not have any legislation dealing with internet piracy, but I believe that the Senate and the House of Representatives already has a bill pending because we are a signatory to the WIPO Internet Treaties, meaning we promised the international community that we would come up with legislation that would address the problem. But the thing is, it takes years for our laws to get passed. So sometimes, while a specific law is being deliberated, sometimes
na yung
nag-evolve na or naging obsolete na yung
Oo nga po.
like for example, if you would remember before the OMB, our predecessor agency was the VRB. The
It's
videogram.
obsolete now, the VRB.
Kasi wala nang mga cassettes, wala nang mga VHS, wala nang
Iba na ang
Betamax.
format.
Iba na. So,
Oo.
iba na yung format ngayon.
So it became optical media board.
Right now, ang nagiging problem nga namin is yung internet, yung piracy through the internet, because even yung optical media, siguro in 3 or 4 years, it might become obsolete as well. And everything the problem would now be flash memory. Yung mga
So
nasa flash disk na lang
nagmamigrate
lahat,
kasi yung
sinisave na lang sa
format.
mga iPads nila, sinisave na lang sa mga laptops. So, but in terms of hard drives, the OMB still has jurisdiction.
As to what po exactly? You confiscate hard drives?
No,
traffic
because
information?
hard drives uses magnets. Medyo technical ah.
Yeah, sure. Please walk us through this.
Hard drives uses magnets to store information, and magnetic media still falls under the jurisdiction of the OMB. So we still regulate
yung mga hard drives.
hard drives. So if you have copyrighted materials in your hard drives, you could actually be prosecuted for violation of the OMB Act.
The OMB Act. So you regulate hard drives, pati ba household hard drives? So does it mean we now have a licensing system in order to procure a CPU?
Technically, supposedly dapat lahat. But
Registered.
it wouldn't be practical na each and every computer has to be registered. So what we actually do is we concentrate on business establishments that employs or uses a lot of computers. So we focus on that because we also have limited resources. We can't go house to house and check every computer.
Oo, meron bang pirated music dyan and go through the files of every single hard drive. Yeah, that definitely poses a constraint in
Yes.
terms of resources of the OMB. So in terms of police power, does the OMB have police powers?
Yes, the OMB has visitorial powers under under Republic Act 9239, which means the OMB may conduct inspections with the use of inspection orders. Sometimes yun yung nagiging problem namin when we conduct inspections is naghahanap sila ng warrant.
Inspection order meaning from sino po nag-i-issue ng
Inspection orders are signed by the chairman.
Okay.
Diba?
So,
Opposed to a warrant which is signed by a judge. Ang nagiging, they do not realize kasi that 9239 gives us visitorial powers, which means we are conducting an inspection not because may violation and kailangan namin kumuha ng evidence, but because we want to make sure that there will not be any violation to begin with.
It's just a check-up.
Yes,
kumbaga po, yung
and in the
visitorial
conduct
power.
of the inspection, if we see something
Incriminating. so to speak.
Yes.
So you have the power to confiscate.
We have the power to
definitely.
confiscate and arrest.
Yes, pirated materials are in a sense contraband.
Yes.
So contraband. Okay, so we'll have more of the police powers of the Optical Media Board, how they conduct raids and what's the importance of that to us after this traffic and weather update from Charlie of traffic.com.